Today has gotta be the hardest day I've ever had to face. I can't remember when I've ever had to fight so hard to keep my faith. Driving down a dusty road back in my hometown, past the country church where I was saved. It broke my heart to see it, 'cause it was so run down, and my mind drifted back to younger days. Back to a simpler time before everything went wrong, and I embraced the world to ease the hurt. Turned my back on Jesus and struck out on my own. Slowly I became just like that old church. There were bars across the windows like the ones across my heart, and a do not enter sign upon the door. The stained glass looked so clouded, like the thoughts inside my mind, keep my heart from seeing what the Father has in store. The faded sign says Jesus saves, but I just can't see how God could use a run-down, broken-hearted man like me. That old church reminded me that day just how far I've strayed from the feeling of the Lord's amazing grace. I can't forget the way I felt outside that church that day. Thank God that He gives hope to the lost. I turned to take one last look before I drove away, as the sun came down and lit up that old cross. I was so glad the Lord showed me that day that I could change. Remember how that old church made me feel. I prayed that He would open up my eyes and rearrange my hopes and dreams, let me see His will, and take the bars that life has built across my broken heart, and open up the door and let Him in. Take the thoughts away that seem to cloud my restless mind, and drag me down to a world of sin. I've always known that Jesus saves, and I'm thankful I can see that God's not through and still has plans for a broken man like me. That old church reminded me that day I'm never far away from the feeling of the Lord's amazing grace. From the feeling of